Before Piper Rockelle was old enough to understand fame, her childhood had already become entertainment. And once a child becomes the product, the people around them start looking less like protectors and more like managers, exposing a literal child to thousands and millions of strangers online, building their entire life around serving a specific audience and compromising their education and entire life for money. None of it is something a responsible parent would do. The story of Piper Rockelle and how her own caretaker, her own mother, follows this exact sad pattern, except it's much darker and incredibly unsettling, to the point that Netflix had to cover the bizarre details of it in a 3-part documentary. Born to Tiffany Smith, a single mother on August 21st, 2007, Piper has been an internet icon since she was a toddler. From posting harmless, fun short-form videos on Musical.ly to becoming a controversial name across all social media. Piper's very controversial success story, on the surface, seems very generic. A jolly, energetic child with a flair for performance who, with the help of her mother, managed to build an empire of millions in very little time. But as Piper's popularity soared, so did the questions. Most of them pointed directly at her mother, Tiffany Smith. What does it really mean for a child to live their entire life online? And who protects the child when the person in charge is also the one benefiting from the exploitation the most? What unfolds is not just the story of a young influencer victimized by child labor, but of the power dynamics behind the scenes where the cost of success may be far greater than it seems. From a very young age, Piper's mother and the adults around her knew that she was going to make a big name for herself. Her charming, very outgoing personality had a way of bringing a smile to others' faces. Everybody who knew Piper only said one thing: she had the talent for drawing people into her own world.
When she was super young, Piper was just an outgoing kid, just dancing around, singing, smiling. You can just tell she has something special in her.
And Tiffany had a goal of introducing her daughter to the flashing world of entertainment since the day Piper was born, so she did. It began with beauty contests. Piper's first exposure to the stage and entertainment came around when she was only 3 years old. Her mother had baby Piper compete in beauty pageants, participate in child acting, and create content for all kinds of social media platforms. Tiffany also pushed Piper to participate in Dance Twins, an American reality television series that followed the training and careers of children in dance and show business.
Hi, I'm Tiffany, and this is my beautiful daughter, Piper.
She's the fun mom. Like, every kid wants to hang out with her.
This is like a really good time for you to get first place. I would like that, you know?
And when 2016 came around, Piper was pushed into the spotlight once again, this time through a short-form video platform Musical.ly, which was then a major kidfluencer hub. With consistent posting and fun kid challenges, Piper quickly became a rising Musical.ly sensation. Around the same time, a YouTube channel with Piper as the central character was launched on November 29th, 2016. And because Piper was actively a part of so many shows and plays before this, she quickly managed to build a good following on Musical.ly and YouTube. Piper scored 1 million subscribers on YouTube at the age of only 11, and her fan following online has only grown ever since. At present, her TikTok account sits at a total of 20 million followers, her Instagram at 7 million followers, and her now inactive YouTube channel amassed a total of 12.2 million subscribers. This almost fictional growth and rise seemed organic on the surface, but behind the fun videos and challenges hid something darker, something that was right there in plain sight. At first, the content uploaded on these platforms was very family-friendly, something kids of her age could easily consume. But as time passed and the fame grew, so did the unsettling nature of her content on YouTube, and then everywhere else. What most viewers found odd was the timing of when this content became common. So what was really happening behind the scenes? Let's dig in. Behind this major blow-up was Piper's own mother, Tiffany, who quickly began expanding her and Piper's connections with other child influencers of the time and had Piper befriend many of them.
Tiffany wanted success for her daughter, and so she's launched Piper's YouTube channel, developing a brand, becoming a personality online.
Tiffany's only life purpose was to turn her kid into the brightest star, and she fulfilled it in the most obnoxious and exploitative ways. Smith added, "I feel like she saved my life. I didn't love myself at all, but when I had her, I just felt like I had a purpose in life. According to another statement made by Tiffany's sister, the mother was dead bent on having her daughter pursue social media professionally. Musically instead, but Smith's sister, Patience Rock Smith, claims that it was Smith who wanted Piper to pursue social media after seeing her success in the pageant world. After the official launch of the YouTube channel and a decent success on Musically, Tiffany Smith started to maximize her daughter's success. Between 2016 and 2017, Tiffany and Piper would travel to Los Angeles solely to connect with other social media icons. This included Hunter Hill, a 19-year-old social media content expert, whom Tiffany started dating not too long after, Reagan Beast, Sophie Fergie, and many others.
So we're going to LA right now. Okay, just
Headed to the airport.
well, yeah, we're heading to the airport.
What are you trying to do, 13? You want to go out into oncoming traffic?
Piper would initially collaborate with these creators, and a number of entertaining videos were produced. These collaborations helped Tiffany build a dedicated audience that adored Piper, and the YouTube channel started generating money. Following Piper's consistent growth on YouTube in 2017, Tiffany decided to move to LA completely and feed into Piper's star potential. During this time, Tiffany had Piper work in a Brat TV web series called Manny when the child was only 10 years old. Piper played the character of Sky on the show, and it was also the set of Manny where Piper met Sophie Fergie, who later became her only best friend. Through the web series Manny, it became pretty obvious to Tiffany that Piper belonged to the media industry.
Where do you think you're going? All nannies participate in the makeup hour.
Well, this Manny not. Manny don't do that.
The child star did her role perfectly. However, after some time, her time on the set was cut short because of her mother. Tiffany had a sort of superiority complex that led her to sabotage her daughter's somewhat decent career. She did so by protesting that Piper was not getting enough screen time and lines in the show, and left the set after lashing out at almost everyone present there.
You're not gonna cut my daughter from the show. She created this show. She was the beginning of this.
Now, this was pretty concerning, something that directly implied that Tiffany was insanely obsessed with turning her toddler daughter into something more than a child. And with time, it only became more evident that Tiffany wanted only one thing from her daughter: money and fame. It was after the acting gig did not work that Tiffany decided to focus more on Piper's YouTube channel, which managed to gather 1 million subscribers within only 1 year.
Hey guys, I'm Piper Rockelle, and I'm so excited to be here. I cannot believe that I hit 1 million on YouTube.
You hit 1 million subscribers in a year and a half. That's insane.
I know.
The channel was mainly managed by Hunter Hill and Tiffany Smith together. And Hunter Hill became an integral part of the channel because he knew YouTube SEO and how the algorithm worked. He's also the main cameraman, editor, and manager behind the content, and he would frequently appear in the videos as Piper's older brother figure, while secretly dating her decades older mother in secret. Around 2018, Piper was starting to get recognition as a rising child influencer, and it was also around that time that Tiffany was hatching the plan of recruiting other child influencers to create content with Piper. The plan was to build a kidfluencer circle, with Piper at the center to help monetize the channel better. And this was also the idea that later proved to be hell for both Piper and all the kids Tiffany recruited. The official recruitment began in 2018 and continued till 2020. One of the first creators to join the circle was Sophie Fergie, whom Piper had befriended at the set of Manny. Then came Claire Rocksmith, Simone Harrison, Sawyer Shabiro, Gavin Magnus, Hayden Haas, Corinne Joy, Walker Bryant, Connor Kane, Alina Wamsley, Jensen Ramirez, Jenna Davis, Indy Starr, Aiden Mekas, and many more. Tiffany's luck was working with this plan. The circle of kidfluencers successfully became huge and later got the name The Squad by their fans. The Squad became the central theme of Piper and other kids' YouTube channels. Lots of interesting content with multiple interesting kids.
We're gonna be doing the last person standing on one leg. I have some of my best friends to join me with this challenge. Sophie! Hayden! Sawyer! And we have a bunch of hugs.
People loved The Squad, to the point that hundreds and thousands of people would gather outside to see the cool kids out in the streets.
Kids start to hit these massive numbers and going viral, building all of these followers. They became this massive success.
With Hunter and Tiffany's dedicated work, Piper's fame skyrocketed, and she soon began working with major companies like Disney, and made hefty amounts of money, all of which was handled by her mother and manager Tiffany Smith and her boyfriend Hunter Hill. Now, all of this compiled sounds like a very smooth, clean journey of a child rising to fame with the undying support of her mother and friends. But was this all that truly happened? Of course not. As soon as the squad became the main theme of Piper's YouTube channel, it did not take too long for the content to become suggestive and a little off. What started from a group of fun friends posting harmless videos of doing 24-hour challenges and comedy skits quickly turned into those same kids becoming a provocative object to attract a disturbing audience. Topics like crushes, relationships, boyfriends.
So today, guys, I am doing a Fashion Nova haul, but I'm going to have my boyfriend rate the outfits and my ex-boyfriend rate the outfits.
And kissing.
You may now kiss your partner!
Don't move. Are you like drooling on left's cheek right now?
Became too common, all when Piper and her friends were barely 11 years old. So, who exactly came up with these strange ideas? And why? Unsurprisingly, it was Tiffany Smith, the supposed caretaker and manager of all the kids, and her boyfriend Hunter Hill, whom those kids used to see as a safe person. Now, it is extremely unnatural and abnormal for a 36-year-old mother to subject minor kids to exploitation. Although the psychological issues do not excuse such almost criminal acts, let's take a look at who Tiffany was as a person. Apparently, she was an extremely troubled individual who came from a very abusive family. The exposure to an unhealthy environment in childhood largely contributed to shaping her into an equally spiteful adult. This messy life only got worse when she ended up marrying an unavailable, irresponsible man. As soon as Tiffany announced her pregnancy to her then husband, he abandoned her and had her bear the child all by herself. It was reported that after the divorce, Tiffany started to display very concerning behaviors. She ended up turning into the worst version of herself, and it reached the point that her own sister Patience had to distance herself from her. This instability was projected onto her own child Piper, who was, as mentioned earlier, pushed into the entertainment industry at an extremely young age. What makes this situation even worse is a statement from Tiffany's own sister Patience. According to her, Tiffany turned Piper into a star to take her revenge on her ex-husband and prove that Piper was worth something.
I think Tiffany's drive for Piper's success was to show Piper's dad that she was worth something and that he's missing out on her life.
There's also implications that Tiffany was projecting her own unfulfilled dreams of becoming a star onto her innocent daughter. Sadly, her daughter was not the only victim of all this mess. Countless other innocent children who came to Tiffany's house in LA to chase their own dreams lost the most beautiful years of their lives.
Disrespectful little.
Tiffany took our innocence and just destroyed it.
Why do I say that? Well, buckle up for another rocky ride. Actually, Tiffany had all of these kidfluencers move into her shared house, and they would spend hours upon hours of the day filming content for multiple channels non-stop.
Love you! Subscribe and like! Okay guys, so today we are going to be getting super long acrylic nails and just trying to be doing things, but that would be a little bit boring. So we have a guest. We're gonna be doing girl versus boy.
Hunter Hill would be the one to handle and direct every child's YouTube channel and videos. And unfortunately, the filming was not all that went on under that roof. It was physical, financial, and sexual exploitation all at the same time.
We were filming like 10 to 15 videos a day. Everyone had to be there at 11 a.m. and we would shoot till 1 a.m. to 2 a.m.-ish. So that's a long work day.
The working conditions were bad enough, but the living conditions weren't any less chaotic either. Tiffany would bring in around 40 cats at home and make life a living hell for the children.
Then we started rescuing more and more cats, and we rescued so many that we had 36 cats throughout the house.
Growing up, we had 20, 30 cats at a time. They weren't indoors, they were outside. It was cold out, we'd let them come in the basement.
Tiffany would force all the children to take care of the cats and clean the house with bleach water until 3 a.m. in the morning.
I was cleaning till around like 3 a.m.
Sophie and Piper fell asleep at the top of the stairs, bleaching the walls.
But this was just the tip of the iceberg. The exploitation and overworking only increased from then on.
You want me to do it?
I mean, I guess I dare you. Oh my gosh.
He did it. Piper, you gonna do it?
The kids soon got tired of filming when the degradation became normalized. Tiffany also resorted to filming hurtful and extremely mean pranks to attract attention and likes.
At that time, it was definitely bad and weird and unfun to do videos.
Then things only escalated in the worst way possible. Other kids noticed that Tiffany was developing an interest in Gavin, a boy creator. She would ask him questions like, "Do you get a boner by looking at me?"
She would say, "Do you have a boner from looking at me?" to Gavin. At this time, he's probably 12, 13.
Gavin would try to laugh about it, brush it off, because he didn't really understand what she was saying. I had no idea what she was saying, but she wouldn't do this around parents.
Moreover, the kids were being kept isolated from their parents. No money was being paid for all the they were being subjected to, and things were starting to get weirder and weirder. What crossed all boundaries was a live stream clip where Tiffany could be seen kissing Reagan in front of everyone. Apparently, this then 36-year-old woman was serving alcoholic drinks to minors during a live stream. The video clip also took the internet by storm. But the clip was removed from all social media platforms the very next day. Unfortunately, this was not the only thing that went on under that shared mansion. What Tiffany was going to do to these minor children was not limited to what happened off camera only. The content that the kids were enduring Tiffany for was equally traumatizing because the alleged was baked directly into the layer these kids were forced to film all day long. At the time, the trending videos were mostly around crushes and dating, and Tiffany, like the exploitative monster she was, decided to take complete advantage of it.
Guys, this feels like I have a bunch of jelly on my stomach.
You guys look crazy.
As more and more kid influencers started joining the squad, the theme of the channels started shifting to age-inappropriate content. The kids would be shipped with each other without their consent, all while they were only 11 to 14 years old. This content was at first met with positivity. The viewers did not find any problem with watching children doing cute couples videos together. But as time passed, the videos shifted from wholesome brain rot to suggestive, improper messes.
How are you? How are you?
I'm good.
You need some chapstick.
What?
It's just a little dry. No, mine are too.
Moreover, Tiffany would make unsettling comments behind the camera after they would kiss. In one instance, Tiffany reportedly asked Sophie and her then boyfriend Jensen when they were gonna do more than kissing. Soon enough, these videos managed to attract a massive, creepy audience, most of which included adult males. The risks of putting one's child's personal life on the internet have always been deadly. Social media is a hunting ground for all kinds of PDF and family YouTube channels, and Instagram centered on children are where they gather to find their victims. An old male stalker who went by the name Megan on Instagram became a diehard fan of Piper Rockelle when she was only 9 years old. And instead of chasing the old creep away, Tiffany decided to build a reciprocal relationship with him. Apparently, Tiffany would ship Piper's undergarments and pictures to Megan in exchange for expensive bags, iPhones, cameras, and more. Tiffany would have Piper talk to Megan on a telephone, and these calls, as you guessed it, were paid. Anyhow, the action never stopped, and it came to a point where Piper herself started to lose all interest in filming. Her friends noticed her complaining about not wanting to be in front of the camera anymore, and the kid just wanted to move back to Georgia.
And she's talked to her mother before. Piper's talked to Tiffany being like, I don't want to do this. And then she just kind of blows it off, and then they're filming the next day.
But none of her cries were heard, and she had no choice but to do what her greedy mother forced her to do.
I don't know when the last time Piper went to school or had genuine friends. She's pretty trapped in this.
The child star had no real friends outside the squad. She did not attend any school, and her life, she was basically turned into a hellhole, and she was just being ripped apart by her mother. As 2020 arrived, things started to escalate, and tension between Tiffany and the kidfluencers began to rise. During the pandemic, Tiffany and Hunter began pushing the squad to film more content for their YouTube channels. This led to an increased workload and a collective burnout of the children. It was also around the time when content creators across the internet were posting unhinged content, things you would normally not do. This content included harmless pranks, and ironically, everything about them was harmful. And since these things were trending, Tiffany and Hunter decided to jump in as well. This was when the series of traumatizing pranks began.
Why are you doing this? It doesn't even make sense.
It's just a prank!
And that's kind of the mentality that they had going in.
It reached the point where it became difficult for the kids to tell reality apart from content.
Blurred of what's real and what's a YouTube video. You never know what's real and what's not.
It was becoming evident that whatever Tiffany had going on at her influencer kid's house was not right. Eventually, the parents stepped in, telling Tiffany that whatever she was doing was wrong. But instead of taking accountability, Tiffany would lash out at them and threaten to kick their kids out of the squad. The environment in that house only got worse with time, and Sophie Fergie, Piper's best friend at the time, wanted to leave that place with Piper and her mother. When Tiffany got wind of this, it did not take her long before kicking Sophie and her mother out of the squad. Not only that, the kicked members were completely banned from making any sort of contact with the squad. The house that was supposed to nurture some of the very fun kids soon turned into a bizarre cult. And just like that, Piper also lost her only best friend, whom she used to confide in during hard times.
Piper, you are my best friend the whole entire world, and I still think you are. Whether you think it or not, you're my best friend, okay? I don't even miss you so much.
This unfortunate event had a deeply painful impact on Piper. Her friends reported that she would cry at random times to herself and give no explanation to anyone for being that way.
Piper had some days where she would just cry. She never told anybody why she was crying.
With the squad and her own mother turning into a living hell, Piper began to lose herself in the mess. Despite having a huge fan following and money, she could not leave that place. Tiffany had Piper and the other kids trapped and completely dependent on herself. At the same time, tired of Tiffany's nasty attitude and all of Piper's friends started to leave the squad one by one. It started with Sawyer.
A lot of the rumors are true. Yes, I did leave Piper Rockelle's squad, but no hate to anyone. We're all on good terms for now. We'll see how things go.
Then Claire and Eliana, whom Tiffany called a disrespectful little bitch for standing up to all the hell Tiffany was putting her and her friends through.
Like I said, I'm done. And Eliana, I know you're hearing this. You keep up with you owe me a f***ing apology, Eliana, because you are a disrespectful little bitch.
Leaving Piper there all by herself with Tiffany was just as painful for the kids and their parents as it was for Piper, but the work environment had gotten intolerable.
Yeah, I just want to make,
I felt bad for Piper. I always wonder, how is she? We left her there with a freaking monster.
In the end, Tiffany's brutality and selfishness stole all the beautiful and potentially lasting bonds Piper had built with the squad over the years.
Tiffany Smith, Piper's mother, is the momager.
Get closer to the bars. There we go.
Soon after most members left the squad, the horrendous nature of Tiffany and her boyfriend Hunter Hill came to light. All the numbers and audience these kids had built after overworking themselves for years and enduring Tiffany's abuse were at risk of tanking.
After we left the squad, all of the kids' social media, especially their YouTube, was just tanking and getting no views.
For context, Hunter Hill had access to YouTube channels of all the kids who were staying with Piper, Tiffany, and him at the LA house. And as soon as those kids left the creator community, he was logged out of their YouTube accounts. That's when Tiffany and Hunter began sabotaging their subscriber count, viewership, and overall monetization on the platform. Their content was reported on a large scale, and Hunter also played a role in embedding these child creators' content on gambling sites. All of this resulted in a major fallout, and the kids started losing the names they had earned with their own hard work. The revenue from their self-produced content was much less than what they had made with Hunter's help, and this ended up being their last straw. In 2022, 11 ex-members of the squad filed a lawsuit against Tiffany Smith and Hunter Hill. These members included Sophie Fergie, Corinne Joy, Sawyer Shabiro, Reagan Beast, Claire, and Reese. The lawsuit included allegations of sexual misconduct and harassment, financial exploitation, emotional and verbal abuse, inappropriate content creation, and lastly, retaliation. The families of the kidfluencers demanded a total of $22 million from Tiffany and Hunter Hill. Tiffany and Piper's social media career ended up taking a deadly hit following the lawsuit. The creative mother received massive criticism on the internet and in real life as well, and quickly the internet started sympathizing with Piper. The YouTube channel, the main money grabber, also suffered demonetization, and it remains inactive to this day. The revenue from the channel went from $500,000 a month to a flat zero in a span of only a few months. Piper started losing brand deals, and all of the friendships she had with the ex-members of the squad ended publicly. All that went on behind the scenes was finally coming to light. People were becoming aware, and as time passed, the content posted on Piper's social media accounts began to unsettle people. This included the singer Pink. who called out Tiffany for posting her daughter's pictures in age-inappropriate clothing. Sadly, what followed in the upcoming years was far worse and upsetting. Once people started taking a closer look at Piper's social media activity, something even more bizarre came to light, something that made the viewers' skin crawl. In Piper's Instagram and TikTok bio hid a hideous link, one that directed the followers to an inappropriate site where Piper would customize herself into anything her subscribers would request.
And when I was doing my deep dive, I went into her bio and I found a page all the way down at the bottom, like kind of hidden, and I think it's put there for a reason. When you click on it, hello? These are like cosplay pajama onesies. What the fuck? This already isn't disturbing and crazy enough. At the top of this page, it quite literally says right here, it's parent managed.
This whole saga began as soon as the YouTube channel suffered demonetization, implying that Piper joined such an unsafe website for financial gain. Soon, articles expressing concern regarding the situation came to light. Keep in mind, Piper was still a minor when this was happening. To make matters worse, this subscription-based website was being handled by none other than her own mother, Tiffany Smith. As if all the sexual and financial she had put Piper through was not enough, the mother decided to exploit the influencer in other, way worse ways. This scandal blew up, and Piper's followers tried their best to report the pages to help take them down, but Tiffany would just make new ones, multiple in a day.
Keeps making pages of her daughter. The fourth new page that has been made because we have been getting them deleted. Fourth one today.
People began to theorize that the unhealthy exposure to inappropriate content and creeps at such a young age had very rough psychological impacts on Piper as a person. Then, in late February of 2025, videos of Piper Rockelle hanging out with Bop House girls started surfacing on TikTok.
Piper, look at this comment. Is Piper joining the Bop House? Oh my god, I mean, like, people want me to, like, no.
The issue with this child, Piper Rockelle, being in the Bop House is that this was her mom's way of soft launching her into the industry as they build up to her 18th.
Now, this was something extremely concerning because Bop House is not just a casual hangout and partying spot. It's actually a group of OF models that hang out together to film and post inappropriate content. One of the most prominent Bop House figures that Piper was seen hanging out with was Sophie, who at the time was 21 years old. Watching an adult woman exploiting a teenager to promote OF on the internet was very disturbing to watch. Many were concerned for Piper's safety, scared that she would turn into someone she shouldn't be, and that fear turned into reality once Piper turned 18. People speculated that Piper was planning to launch her own OF account the second she turned 18, and that is actually what ended up happening.
I knew Piper Rockelle was going to start at OnlyFans the second she turned 18 as soon as I found out about her a couple months ago.
Piper officially launched her OF account on January 1st, 2026, after soft launching the idea for a long time on TikTok.
So listen, it's kind of a crazy story. Nah, it's not. I just really wanted to. I live life with no regrets, so I don't regret it. I'm sure you wouldn't either.
Although her audience online knew this was bound to happen, the official launch was still disheartening for most. A huge fraction of Piper's fans believes that her mother, Tiffany Smith, had the most to do with how Piper turned out. From posting with Bop House girls to becoming one of them, Piper's social media journey had a disturbing conclusion. It's also widely believed that Tiffany's the person who pushed Piper into uploading content on such a repulsive site. It's believed that Piper was subjected to grooming and mass exploitation at the hands of every adult she had in her life. Moreover, Piper made more than $1 million in the first hour of the link launch and made well around $3 million within the first 24 hours only. The viewers found the count very odd, implying that a very predatory audience had been waiting for Piper's OF link to drop. At present, Tiffany has stopped showing up in any of Piper's content, while the girl herself remains active on social media. The influencer today continues to post content on TikTok, Snapchat, and her OF, feigning complete ignorance of the concern the internet has shown over the years. The story of Piper Rockelle is not just another cautionary tale about internet fame, it's a disturbing reflection of what can happen when a child's identity, privacy, and emotional well-being are sacrificed in exchange for clicks, money, and fame. What makes this story especially heartbreaking is the fact that the people who were supposed to protect these children were the ones who benefited from their exposure. And by the time the internet started to notice, it was already too late. A 3-part documentary documenting the life of Piper and her friends was released in 2025. But sadly, Piper had caused herself irreversible damage by then. Piper's journey continues to force an uncomfortable but necessary conversation about child influencers and the legality of putting one's own child up on the internet for all kinds of creeps to watch. The need for child protection laws has been emphasized for a very long time now, but nothing much has been done about the matter. Piper is just one of the many children who needed proper parental guidance and love, but received nothing. There's a significant contribution of the viewers in such situations as well. If people stop consuming child influencer content on a large scale and more attention is brought to the illegality of it, a change in the social media world is possible. Because in cases like this, the emotional consequences can last far longer than the internet's attention ever will.